Right.
I'm your brother. That's what I was saying.
Jeremiah 2 and 7. I brought thee into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when ye enter, ye defiled my land and made mine heritage an abomination. Jeremiah 12 and 7. I have forsaken mine house. I have left mine heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemy. Curse in the city, curse in the field, curse when I go out, curse when I come in, the fruit of my body, to the fruit of my land. When they took my children, I didn't have no right in my hand. Disease is clean to me, it consumed me off of this earth. Oppressed and left to spoil forevermore, my soul hurts. Madness, blindness, astonishment in my heart. My strangers get up high above me, I'm still stuck at the start because I plant the vineyard, but I don't get to eat the grapes because the fruit of my labor, another nation to get to take because I am a proverb and a byword to all nations. A coon jigaboo in the course, and you black nigger, they say. They put a yoke of iron around my neck and destroyed me. I'm hungry and I'm naked and I'm in need of everything. No man wanna pay my price, I don't see nobody defending me. Can't change down to a ship and I was sold to my enemies. Who am I?
The Ahayah, the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart, be accepted in thy sight. O Ahayah, Yeshaya, our Redeemer, our Israel, our Savior. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for blessing another Shabbat. In His Son's name, Yeshaya, so be it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Today's topic, Ahayah, lift up and knock down.
That's right.
King Saul and King David. Ahayah chose King Saul, but he knocked King Saul down and rose up King David. Well, he was wicked. We'll bring these scriptures out today. King David and King Saul, okay? First scripture cap we're going to go to, cap. 1 Samuel 9 and 1 and 3.
1 Samuel 9. 1 Samuel 9. Verse 1. Now, there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Alphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of war, a mighty man of power. And he said, and he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man, and a goodly, and there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. For his shoulders and upward he was higher than any of the people. And the asses of Kish, Saul's father, were lost. And Kish said to Saul his son, take now one of the servants with thee, and arise, go see the asses.
Yeah, bring the scripture. I want to introduce Saul. Okay, now how you going to choose for the kingdom over Israel? Okay, piece of that count. 1 Samuel 9, 15, 21. 1 Samuel 9, 15.
1 Samuel 9, verse 15.
Start at 15.
Now Ahayah had told Samuel in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, tomorrow about this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people, that he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because their cry is come unto me. And when Samuel saw Saul, Ahayah said unto him, behold, the man whom I spake to thee of, the same shall reign over my people. Then Saul drew near to Samuel. In the gate, and said, tell me, I pray thee, where the seer's house is. And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer. Go up before me into the high place, for ye shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will let thee go, and will tell thee all that is in thy heart. And as for thy asses that were lost 3 days ago, set not thy mind on them, for they are found, and on whom is all the desire of Israel. It is not on thee, and on all thy father's house. And Saul answered and said, Am not I a Benjamite, of the smallest of the tribes of Israel, and my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Wherefore then speakest thou to me?
Oh yeah, pull up.
Make the same mistake.
All praise, all praise.
And now, read 21 again, Cap. Because when Ahayah called somebody, all the prophets had something to say against what Ahayah chose them first. Now we seeing Ahayah called Saul to be king over Israel. Well, let's hear Saul's reply to Ahayah, to Samuel. Can we go?
And Saul answered and said, Am not I a Benjamite, of the smallest of the tribes of Israel, and my family the least of all the families of tribe of Benjamin? Wherefore then speakest thou so to me?
Oh yeah, that's almost like you speaking to me, and our tribe is the least tribe.
That's right.
It's not whatever, but when Ahayah call you, it's not about numbers, it's not about the power of man, what man can do. It's about that he called you to do his will.
That's
okay?
right.
Please up that count. Let's go to 1 Samuel 10 and 1.
1 Samuel.
1 Samuel 10 and 1.
1 Samuel 10, verse 1. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, Is it not because Ahayah has anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance?
Now, this is Samuel anointing Saul to be over the Israelites, okay? Drop down to 10 and 11. 1 Samuel, we said 10.
1 Samuel 10, verse 11. And it came to pass, when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets. Then the people said
Go down to 10 and 5, I mean. Go to 10 and 5.
Okay, Elder.
10 and 5, read 11.
Awesome. 1 Samuel 10, verse 5. After that thou shalt come to the hill of Ahayah, where is the garrison of the Philistines, and it shall come to pass, when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets.
Company of who?
A company of prophets.
Company of who?
A company of prophets.
Now, Ahayah called Saul. Samuel anointed him with oil. Now, this is why you see prophets hanging out together on the street corner preaching the word. He said a company of prophets. So it wasn't not one prophet or two prophets. It was a gathering of prophets prophesying the word of Ahayah. Can we count?
A company of prophets coming down from the high place with psaltery and tabrets and a pipe and a harp before them, and they shall prophesy. And the spirit of Ahayah will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man. And let it be, when these signs are coming to thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for Ahayah is with thee, and thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal. And behold, I will come down unto thee to offer burnt offerings, and to sacrifice sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry, till I come to thee, and show thee what thou shalt do. And it was so, that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, Ahayah gave him another heart.
Another who?
Another heart.
Here we come.
And all those signs came to pass that day. And when they came thither to the hill, behold, a company of prophets met him. And the spirit of Ahayah came upon him, and he prophesied among them. And it came to pass, when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets.
That's all it does. Now, after Ahayah called Saul, he was not hanging out with the prophets before. He was doing his own thing. He was just running around like us, being lost sheep in the house of Israel. Doing our own thing, but when Ahayah called him and son Samuel to anoint him with oil, now he started prophesying and hanging out with prophets. That's what we must do. Once we get this awakening, our crowd, the people that we commune with, the people that we hang out with,
that's right.
We all prophesy the word of truth. Can we count?
That's right. Then the people said one to another, What is that? What is this that is come unto the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?
Hallelujah. Now the people seeing him say, wait a minute now. We seen him last week doing this, but now he's hanging out with all the prophets. Okay, precept that count, 1 Samuel 10:18. Go to verse 18.
1 Samuel 10, verse 18.
Read all the way to 25.
And said unto the children of Israel, thus saith Ahayah of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt and delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all kingdoms and them that oppress you. And ye have this day rejected your Ahayah, who himself saved you out of all your adversities and your tribulations. And ye have said unto him, Nay, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before Ahayah by your tribes and by your thousands.
Now, Israel wanted a king like other nations because we did not have kings. The king came from the heathens. So when Israel wanted a king, this is why we don't vote on a president, because the president can't do anything for us, because Ahayah is a jealous Ahayah. He doesn't want to get in the midst of that, all that king stuff, but he giving us a king, and he going to show us what type of manner of king he going to give us. Keep reading, Cap 20.
And when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was taken. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the families of Matri was taken, and Saul the son of Kish was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. Therefore they inquired of Ahayah further, if the man should yet come thither. And Ahayah answered, Behold, he has hid himself among the stuff.
Now Saul was called, and Samuel anointed him, and he's hiding from the presence of the people. That means he rejecting the kingdom already. He don't want to do what he's called to do.
That's right.
He show you that many are called, a few are chosen. So again, we talk about top of the day because of how it's set up and he knocked down.
That's right.
He kill and he take. He wants you else to be obedient, family. Keep reading, Cap.
And they ran and fetched him thence. And when he stood among the people, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upward. And Samuel said to all the people, See ye him whom Ahayah has chosen, that there is none like him among all the people. And all the people shouted and said, Ahayah, save the king. Then Samuel told the people the matter of the kingdom and wrote it in a book and laid it up. All the people away, every man to his house.
Hallelujah. Peace of that, Cap. Let's go to 1 Samuel 13:1.
1 Samuel 13, verse 1. Saul reigned 1 year, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel, Saul chose him 3,000 men of Jezreel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash and in Mount Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah. And Benjamin and the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. And Jonathan smote the garrison of the Philistines that was in Gibeah, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten a garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also had an abomination with the Philistines. And the people were called together after Saul to Gilgal. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in a multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Bethaven. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets, and in rocks, and in high places, and in pits. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, Bring hither a burnt offering to me, a peace offering. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Samuel went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, What hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that they came as not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto Ahayah. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of Ahayah.
Stop right there. Now, we see, this is Saul's first mission. Now, we see how he shied away when he was called, right?
That's
also,
right.
we see that now, his first mission that Ahayah gave him, Samuel told him, wait for him on the 7th day, right? Wait him on the 7th day, and he was going to come. Now, we know Samuel the only one that did the sacrifice and offering. What Saul did, Saul said he forced himself to do what Samuel did. So Samuel came to him and confronted him, according to his, while not following the laws Ahayah gave him. Keep reading, Cap.
Which he commanded thee, for now would Ahayah have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now the kingdom shall not continue. Ahayah has sought him a man after his own heart, and Ahayah has commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast kept that which Ahayah commanded thee. And Samuel rose and gathered him up from Gilgal and unto Gabah and of Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people that were present with him, about 600 men.
Hallelujah. Now we see the first mission of Ahayah and Samuel's son Saul on. He failed the mission by leaning on his own understanding, not going by the commandments.
That's right.
Again, Ahayah will lift you up and he will knock you down. He will give you, he'll take from you and give it to somebody else.
That's right.
He said that, Cap. Let's go to 19, Samuel 13 and 19, read 23.
1 Samuel 13, verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, least the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his shaft, and his coulter, and his axe, and his mattock. Yet they had a file for the mattocks, and for the coulters, and for the forks, and for the axes, and the sharpened the goads. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and with Jonathan his son was there found.
Now, Saul going to battle. They don't got no spear, no sword, anything. This show you the disobedience of the beginning of Saul, ignorance towards, he was given a gift. Ahayah called him, he chose him.
That's right.
He was with, but all the commandments were given to him, he reverted against. So we got to realize now, we cannot go against the commandments when he sent us out to go preach his word, go teach his word.
That's right.
Samuel the servant, which is a prophet, was telling him exactly the order from Ahayah to give to him. He still disobeyed. Okay, keep reading, Cap.
And the garrison of the Philistines went out to the passage of Michmash.
Oh, you got a piece of that? 1 Samuel 14, 18, Cap.
1 Samuel 14, verse 18.
No, 24.
And Saul said unto Ahayah, bring hither the ark of Ahayah, for the ark of Ahayah was at the time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass, while Saul talked unto the priests, that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thy hand. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves. And they came to the battle, and behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country, rolled about even, they also turned to be the Israelites that were with Saul and Jonathan. Likewise, all the men of Israel, which had hid themselves in Mount Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle. So Ahayah saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over to Bethlehem. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food.
Hallelujah. Now,
Shalom, sister.
Saul won a victory this time with his enemy, the Philistines, right? Now, but he said, 24, And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had endured the people, saying, curse any man that eateth any food until the evening, that I may avenge my enemies. So none of the people taste food. Please set that cap, go over to 28.
1 Samuel 14,
28.
verse 28. Then answered one of the people and said, thy father straightly charged the people with an oath, saying, cursed be the man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then said Jonathan, my father has troubled the land. See, I pray you, how my enemies have been enlightened, because I tasted a little of this honey. How much more if happily the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies, which they found. For had there not been nor now a much greater slaughter among the Philistines, and they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ahayah, and the people were very faint, and the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep and oxen and cows, and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them.
Eat what?
Did eat them.
Eat what?
Did eat them.
Eat blood.
With blood.
Hallelujah. Now, I'm going to read up to Jonathan say what his father did. Now, Jonathan knew that they made a great victory over the Philistines when they won that battle with the Philistines, right?
That's right.
And his father said, no matter should eat till the sun go down, right? Now, Jonathan asked the people, and they answered and said, they didn't answer one of the people. He said, our father charged the people with an oath, saying, cursed be any man that eateth any food this day. And the people were faint. Then said Jonathan, my father has troubled the land.
That's right.
So Jonathan telling the people, my father has troubled the land. What is he doing? We got a great victory then. He don't want us to eat that. He should be eating and celebrating his victory. Keep reading, count.
Then they told Saul, saying, behold, the people sinned against Ahayah in that day. Eat with the blood. And he said, ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. And Saul said, disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against Ahayah in eating with blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there.
Oh, we gonna keep it?
And Saul built an altar unto the Ahayah. The same was the first altar that he built unto Ahayah. And Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them. And they said, do whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Then said the priest, let us draw near hither unto Ahayah.
All right, now we see again, here go the priest, okay? Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them until the morning light. And let us not leave a man of them. Okay? And they said, use the word seeming good unto thee. Now Saul is leaving out from Ahayah again. They were okay to go through the shot, right? Now then said the priest, let us draw near to Ahayah. So Saul still want to go do stuff in his own hand.
That's right.
The priest answered, no, let's go to Ahayah first before we go to battle again. You read count.
And Saul asked counsel of Ahayah, shall I go down after the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day.
Now, again, a lot of prophets going around. Yeah, they was called. It was prophet. But how you ain't talking to you no more?
That's right.
If you ain't following his laws, that's commandment.
That's right.
Yes, you were called. Yes, you anointed. But how you going to ignore you? He's not going to talk to you anymore because you despise his commandment. You're going against his laws. That's commandment. So a lot of people, he lift up and he knocked down. A lot of people he give and also he take.
That's right. And Saul said, draw ye near hither, all the chief of the people, and know and see wherein this sin has been this day. For as Ahayah liveth, which saveth Israel, though it be in Jonathan, my son, he shall surely die. But
now, Saul already ready to take his own son out. Come on now. He's already ready to take his son out because of something that he did on his wrong. Because a righteous judgment was, okay, we won. Ahayah made victory this day.
That's right.
Let us eat. But Saul said his son should surely die. That's wickedness, family. Keep reading count.
It says, for as Ahayah liveth, which saveth Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die. But there was not a man among all the people. And answered him, verse 40. Then said he unto all Israel, be ye on one side, and Jonathan my son will be on the other side. And the people said unto Saul, do what seemeth good unto thee. Therefore, Saul, Therefore Saul said unto Ahayah of Israel, give perfect lot. And Saul and Jonathan were taken, but the people escaped. And Saul said, cast lots between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what thou hast done. And Jonathan told him. And he said, I did but taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand, and lo, I must die. And Saul answered Ahayah, do so, and more also, for thou shalt surely die, Jonathan.
Surely what?
Surely die, Jonathan.
Oh, look, can we?
And the people said unto Saul, shall Jonathan die, who has wrought this great salvation in Israel? Ahayah forbid. As Ahayah liveth, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground. For he has wrought with Ahayah this day. So the people rescued Jonathan, that he died not.
Now the people had to rescue Jonathan, Saul's own son, and he was ready to take out because he disobeyed his commandment. But what about Ahayah commandments, okay?
That's right.
He's up to that count. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15:1.
1 Samuel 15, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, Ahayah sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore, hearken thou unto thy voice of the words of Ahayah. Thus said Ahayah of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how ye laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
Now this is another order Ahayah gave Samuel to give to Saul, okay? It says 3, and go and smite the Amalekites, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not. So he said to spare them not, right? He said, but slay both men and women, infant, suckling, ox, and sheep, and camel, and ass. So this was another order was given to Saul to do, okay? Well, we're going to see what Saul do, okay? Keep reading count 4.
And Saul gathered the people together, and numbered them in Telanim, 200,000 footmen, and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to the city of Amalek, and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get ye down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou camest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag.
Spared who?
Agag.
And what was the commandment? To kill him, right?
That's right. And the best of the sheep, of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, would not utterly destroy them. But
when he told him, destroy all the asses, all the oxen, all the camels, all the sheep. Keep reading. This is disobedience of laws. Keep reading.
But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. They came the word of Ahayah unto Samuel, saying, it repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king.
What?
It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king.
Now think about it. That's something sad that when Ahayah called you, you disobedient, and Ahayah said, I repented calling you.
That's right.
To do his will. Family, we got to get these laws and commandments right. This is happening today. This is happening today in the prophets today. It's a lot of prophets out here. Yes, they were called. Yes, they were chosen. Yes, they think they're calling on Ahayah. Yes, they think Ahayah is with them. Yes, they're relying on Ahayah's name. But Ahayah ain't doing nothing with them prophets no more. Yes, they was called. It's proven in this Bible with Saul. Keep reading, count. Let's bring this out.
And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, blessed be thou, O Ahayah, I have performed thy commandment of Ahayah.
He did what?
Performed thy commandment of Ahayah.
Now Saul seen Samuel say, I did Ahayah commandment. Brother, don't we heard a lot from so-called prophets?
That's right.
Oh, I'm doing Ahayah will.
That's right.
This is the same thing that Achan that Saul had. Oh, I'm doing will of Ahayah. Let's see what Samuel say about Saul. Say he doing Ahayah will. Keep reading.
And Samuel said, what meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, they have bought them from the Amalekites. From the people spared the beast of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice it to Ahayah, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what Ahayah has said to me this night.
Now Samuel told Saul to stay. He gonna go back and inquire with Ahayah and see what he supposed to do with him. Again, he bring out the people. He said, and the people spared. Okay, well, the commandment was given to him, right?
That's right.
He the king of Israel, right?
That's right.
He's a, oh, keep reading,
And Samuel said, when thou was little in thy own sight, was thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And Ahayah anointed the king over Israel. And Ahayah sent thee on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners of the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Ahayah, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Ahayah? And Saul said unto Samuel, I have obeyed the voice of Ahayah, and have gone the way which Ahayah sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of the Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil, sheep, oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice it to Ahayah in Gilgal. And Samuel said, have Ahayah as a great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of Ahayah? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better who?
Better than sacrifice.
Now what Samuel is telling Saul, being obedient is better than getting a lamb, goat, sheep. What do you get them for? You preparing on sinning? The Bible says she will continue in sin that grace may abound. So why don't we go get these lamb, sheep, and goat? Only way we gonna need them is because of our sin.
That's right.
Keep reading, Cap.
It says, the voice of Ahayah, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For your rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Sin of who?
The rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Oh, yeah, keep reading.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Ahayah, he has also rejected thee from being king.
Now, again, Ahayah will reject you. Yes, you will call. Yes, it's not a prophesy here. Prophesy lies, okay?
That's right.
In our face, preaching, building camps, building churches, preaching this out. Yes, you was called, but Ahayah knocked you down. He not talking to none of y'all anymore. He started talking to you, but he started being disobedient to his laws and commandments. Keep reading, Cap.
And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Ahayah, and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
Feared who?
Feared the people.
So he feared the people more than the Ahayah commandments, okay? Keep reading.
And obeyed their voice. Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship Ahayah. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Ahayah, and Ahayah has rejected thee from being king over Israel. And Samuel turned about to go away. He laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. And Samuel said unto him, Ahayah has rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent.
Now, when Samuel saw God, Samuel's garment, rent it, he told him, Ahayah had rent the kingdom from you and gave it to another man. So again, yes, Ahayah set up and he knocked down. But disobedient, family. We gotta get back to these laws and commandments, family.
That's right.
Can we go?
Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now. Honor me now. I pray thee before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship Ahayah. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshiped Ahayah. Then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before Ahayah in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house in Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and Ahayah repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.
Hallelujah. Now we see the disobedience of Saul, okay? Now this happened today. This is prophesied today. So when you read this Bible, these are prophecies happening today. How you call you, and you don't be obedient to his laws, statutes, commandments, he will knock you down. Also, he will bless you, but he will take from you and get somebody that deserve, okay? The scripture's going to bring out today how he built up and how he knocked down. He said I kept 1 Samuel 16 and 1.
1 Samuel 16 and 1. And Ahayah said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thy horn with oil, and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And
now again, Saul went from a prophet to a murderer. Because Samuel is a prophet. Samuel felt in his heart, he knew this dude to kill him. So this dude didn't like nobody. He gained an evil spirit from Ahayah because he's disobedient. He took on the spirit of wickedness, okay? And that's how when we go through certain things as prophets, yeah, a lot of evil spirit will come to us when we disobey our Father. What spirit you have?
That's
you don't
right.
have a higher spirit by not following his laws, statutes, commandments. Keep reading, count.
And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And Ahayah said, Take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to Ahayah. And call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which Ahayah spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably. I am come to sacrifice unto Ahayah. Sanctify yourselves, and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons, and called them to the sacrifice. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, Surely Ahayah anointed is before him. But Ahayah said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For Ahayah seeth not as a man seeth for a man, looketh on the outward appearance, but Ahayah looketh on the heart.
Now, stop right there. Now, again, Ahayah is knocking down Saul, and he's bringing up King David. Again, we can be called, we're always going to be prophets. You don't be a prophet, you can be a false prophet.
That's right.
You got to be a real prophet.
That's right.
Yes, this prophet's going to be everywhere. But the true prophet's going to preach the truth. They're going to do everything Ahayah tell us to do. If Ahayah didn't talk to you,
Hallelujah.
and you ain't get no dream, you looking at all these dreams, talking this dream, told me this is a dream, that's not Ahayah talking to you. Okay? Ahayah speak to you, and you would know it's Ahayah. Keep reading, count.
Then Jesse called Abijah, and made him pass before Samuel, and he said, Neither has Ahayah chosen this. Then Jesse made Shemaiah to pass by, and he said, Neither hath Ahayah chosen this. Again Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel, and Samuel said unto Jesse, The Ahayah has not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Are here all the children, thy children? And he said, There remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, Send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal a beautiful countenance, and a goodly to look to. And to Ahayah said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of the oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the spirit of Ahayah came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah. But the spirit of Ahayah departed from Saul, and evil spirit from Ahayah troubled him.
Now again, Ahayah had Samuel going to anoint David. Remember he anointed Saul, right? The king, the spirit came on him, right?
That's right.
Yes, we receive his spirit. Yes, he blessed us. Yes, he gave us gifts. Yes, we give us his knowledge. But we got to be obedient to who he sent to teach us and guide us.
That's right.
Saul had Samuel. Saul didn't obey Samuel. And because Samuel talked to Ahayah. Now he anointed King David. Now King David had the spirit, and an evil spirit from Ahayah came upon Saul. Keep reading, Captain.
And Saul's servant said unto him, Behold, now an evil spirit from Ahayah troubleth thee. Let Ahayah now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on a harp, and it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from Ahayah is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. And Saul said unto his servants, Provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have seen a son of Jesse in Bethlehemite, that is cunning in playing, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and Ahayah is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse, and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul, and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he has found favor in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from Ahayah was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hands. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
Hallelujah. Please over that 1 Samuel 17:3, Cap.
1 Samuel 17:3.
You know what to love.
And the Philistines stood on the mountain on the one side of Jezreel, stood on a mountain on the other side, and there was a valley between them. And they went out, champion, out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span.
Now, this is Goliath. You got David and Goliath. Nobody never heard that story, but we're going to bring that story out to you today, because Saul was fearing this man more than Ahayah. Saul was fearing it, but David came in and took this man out. But we want to let the scripture bring that out, okay? Because David was called. David was the man of Ahayah's own heart.
That's right.
Saul was unclean because Saul was more flesh. You keep on reading, Captain.
And he had a helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail, and the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass, and he had greaves of brass upon his legs, and a target of brass between his shoulders, and the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron. And one bearing a shield went before him, and he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me, if he be able to fight with me, and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him, and kill him, then ye shall be our servants, and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Jezreel. This
now
day.
You got one man defying Israel, and Saul is the king right now, and Saul feared this man, Goliath, right? We're going to see what David said. Can we read 11 again, Cap? 11?
And
yeah, 11,
10. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Jezreel. This day, give me a man that we may fight together. When Saul and all Israel heard these words of the Philistines, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Now,
hallelujah. Go down to jump down to 20, Cap. 17:20.
And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep. 1 Samuel 17, verse 20.
Hallelujah.
And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brethren. As he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistines of Gath, Goliath by name.
Who?
Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them, and all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were so afraid. And the men of Israel said, Have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter. and make his father's house free in Israel. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, What shall be done to the man that killeth the Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is the uncircumcised Philistine, that he should divide the armies of the living Ahayah?
Oh yeah. Now, we see that all Israel was scared of this Goliath guy, right? And also, Saul promised that whoever defeats Goliath, that he will give his daughter to him, okay?
That's right.
We're going to see how wicked Saul was. He made a promise, if any man killed Goliath, that he will give his daughter. Can you read and count?
And the people answered him after this manner, saying, So shall it be done to the man that killeth him. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. Eliab, anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou down hither? With whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride, and thy naughtiness of thy heart. For thou art come down, that thou mightest see the battle. And David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. And David said to Saul, Let no man heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with the Philistine. And Saul said to David, Thou art not able to go against the Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock, and I went after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him.
Oh look, now, again, when Ahayah raised up a prophet, that prophet ain't never been through nothing, he ain't got no faith, and Ahayah going to do how he will. Now, Ahayah see you go to battle, be ready for war.
That's right.
Now, Saul was not ready for war because Saul had never been in no battle. But David telling you, he fought a lion and a bear, and he know Ahayah with him. So Ahayah can't use no coward soldiers.
That's
Saul
right.
was a coward from the beginning because Saul hit himself in his stuff right when he called, right?
That's right.
Then he said he feared the people, right?
There you go.
Now, David coming up bold against Goliath. Saul feared Goliath. David coming up a bold soldier for Ahayah. Now again, in this walk, there's going to be a lot of problems out there that's going to say, Ahayah called me. Yes, Ahayah did call you. But now the other spirit that you're taking the ball is another spirit for somebody else. But you don't have a higher spirit. Highest soldiers is bold.
That's right.
They're going to be truthful. They're going to be bold like lions out here giving out that word. Like David. Keep reading count.
Hallelujah.
36 and 36.
Yes, okay, that's right. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and the uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defiled the armies of the living Ahayah. David said, Moreover, Ahayah that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, and out of the paw of the bear, he would deliver me out of the hand of the Philistines. And Saul said unto David, Go, and Ahayah be with thee.
Hallelujah. Now again, I know when I was in the streets, bullets came flying, Ahayah delivered me. Wicked men came at me, Ahayah delivered me.
That's right.
Cars ran across me, Ahayah delivered me.
That's right.
Every wicked thing, every bad thing, I can say the same thing David said, Ahayah delivered me for this battle, to speak his word and bring Israel back home to him. So I'm born to say that Ahayah delivered me in the past, when I did not know him, when I was ignorant, this and that, whatever, he going to deliver me now also. Therefore my bold soldier Ahayah. Keep reading.
That's right. Verse 38. And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And
now put on a full armor Ahayah. They were like, this armor ain't nothing. This shit ain't gonna stop no bullets. This ain't gonna stop no arrows. This ain't gonna stop nothing. My faith in Ahayah, my strength in his word, my strength doing his commandments.
That's right.
That's gonna deliver me. David said, I haven't proved this. They gonna take it off, read 30 again.
And Saul armed David with his armor, and he put a helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail. And David girded his sword upon his armor, and he essayed to go, for he had not proved it yet. Had not proved it yet. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proved them. And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand, and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even a scrip, and his sling was in his hand. And he drew near to the Philistine, and the Philistine came on and drew near to David. And the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, ruddy, and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his God.
By his who?
By his God.
By his who?
By his God.
Now the Philistine cussed David by his gods, okay? But David had Ahayah.
That's right.
David was a youth. David did not fear this man, right? Because he knew everything Ahayah did for him in the past, that Ahayah going to deliver him also. But Saul didn't have that boldness in him because Saul never been through nothing, okay? Can you read, count?
And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give the flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistines, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of Ahayah of hosts. In the name of Ahayah of hosts.
And David said, I come in the name of Ahayah. You come with me all this stuff, yeah, you a big bold man, this, that, whatever, you an ugly monster. But I come with the name of Ahayah. That's our power, the name of Ahayah, family. Keep it
That's
going.
right. Ahayah of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will Ahayah deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee and take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is Ahayah in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that Ahayah saveth not with the sword and spear. For the battle is Ahayah's, and he will give you into your hands. And it came to pass, when the Philistines arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in the forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth.
Okay,
so David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him, and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. And the men of Israel and of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistine until thou came to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistine fell down by the way of Sherahama, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem. But he put his armor in his tent, and when Saul saw David forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is the youth. And Abner said, As thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell. And the king said, Inquire, thou whose son the stripping is. And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. And Saul said to him, Whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse, the Bethlehemite.
Hallelujah. Please say that. 1 Samuel 18, 5, 12.
Huh?
1 Samuel 18, 5, 12.
Precept 18.
18 verse 5.
1 Samuel 18, 5. It says, And David went out whensoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely, and Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servant. And it came to pass, as they came when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth,
So what?
Saul was very wroth.
Now, Saul also had a jealous spirit because now the women singing songs that Saul killed thousands, but David killed his 10,000. So we see that Saul got envy. Saul, yes, he was called, yes, he was a prophet, but he was not obedient to the laws, statutes, commandments.
That's right.
Ahayah build up and Ahayah not tear down. Okay, he said men are called and few are chosen. Yes, these are prophets out here preaching the word, building these fake camps and this and that, whatever.
That's right.
But they're not real prophets of Ahayah. They're prophets of somebody, but not a prophet of Ahayah and Shai. Keep reading count.
And it came to pass on the tomorrow that the evil spirit from Ahayah came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand, as at the other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David.
What?
I will smite David, even to the wall.
Saul turned from a disobedient servant to a murder, want to murder people, okay? That's the spirit of wickedness. That's the spirit of evil. When you go out cursing people, threatening people, and wishing evil on people, wanting to destroy people.
There it is.
You'll never see David saying that he do anything, but he said, touch not Ahayah, nor do his prophet no harm. Even Saul was wicked. David still was doing good. So our job, family, when we meet these wicked prophets, yes, it's prophets, but they're wicked. They
That's
go
right.
against commandments. They got evil spirits in them. They say Saul had an evil spirit from Ahayah, and keep reading count.
It says, and Saul cast a javelin, for he said, I will smite David, even to the wall with it. And David avoided out of his presence twice, and Saul was afraid, David, because Ahayah was with him, and was departed from Saul. Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people, and David behaved himself wisely in all his ways. And Ahayah was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him.
Now, Saul was afraid of David. Why? Because he knew Ahayah was with him, and Ahayah had took the spirit from him and gave it to David. He took the kingdom from him and gave it to David. Keep reading count.
But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter, Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight Ahayah battles. For Saul said, let not my hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him.
Now Saul was trying to do a wicked, he said he was going to give his daughter, right? But we're going to see that Saul will not give David the daughter that he promised him, right? But he wanted the Philistines to take David out. So he's trying to set David up. That's wickedness, brother.
That's right.
So we're going to have another prophet, another brother with us, and another brother amongst us that will be wickedly trying to destroy us.
That's right.
Their whole scheme, being with you, the whole scheme, while they follow you, next to you, the closer they to you, the more they're going to try to destroy you. Same way Saul tried to do David. Keep reading count.
And David said unto Saul, who am I? And what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it came to pass at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given unto Adariel.
She given to who?
Adariel.
Well, he promised that anybody killed Goliath that he won't give
She was given to Adariel.
No, he lied again, right?
Yes, she was given unto Adariel,
Okay, keep reading count.
the Metholite, to wife. And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. And they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that
who?
be a snare to him.
Now Saul gave David his other daughter Michal to be a snare to him. He's still doing wicked. He uses his own daughter for his personal wickedness. That's wickedness, family. Come on, family. This story right here is today. This ain't just in old when the Bible was written. This is happening right now today. How we recognize this wickedness.
That's right.
Keep reading, count.
And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him.
Yeah, who?
Be a snare to him.
Keep reading, count.
And that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, thou shalt this day be my son-in-law, in the one of the twain. And Saul
Piece of that, 1 Samuel 19:1.
1 Samuel 19:1. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son, and to all his servants, that they should kill David.
Kill who?
Kill David.
Kill who?
Kill David.
Now again, you can be called to get a righteous spirit, but the wickedness before being disobedient to the laws and commandments, you're going to go against the high commandments, you're going to take wicked spirits on, and you're going to think about murdering, killing everybody, taking everybody out. That's a wicked spirit. That's not a righteous spirit. Keep reading, count.
But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul, my father, seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore, I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see that I will tell thee. And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he has not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee theward very good. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistines, and Ahayah wrought a great salvation for Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swore, as Ahayah liveth, he shall not be slain.
Now, again, we got a brother. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. This and that. But in his heart,
right.
But in his heart, he meant to do it.
That's right.
In his heart, he wanted to steal, kill, and destroy. Steal, kill, and destroy. He's going to cry and shed tears every time he get caught, but he's going to continue in his sin. He's trying to every scheme possible to destroy.
That's right.
To hell right, Ahayah, true elect. Keep reading, count.
And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all those things, and Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence, as in times past. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines, and slew them with a great slaughter. And they fled from him, and the evil spirit from Ahayah was upon Saul, as he sat in the house with his javelin in his hand. And David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence. And he smote the javelin to the wall, and David fled and escaped that night.
Now again, Saul still trying to starve David. Why? David ain't do nothing to him.
That's right.
What did David do? Why? Because Saul know the king will get taken from him and give it to Saul, so he gonna hate him. Show me one thing that David did to Saul in the Bible. One thing besides how he chose him and took the kingdom from him and gave it to
the king. That's right.
David. Hallelujah. Keep reading, count.
Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, if thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed, and put a pillow of goat's hair for his blood, for his bluster, and covered it with cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, he is sick. And Saul sent the messengers again to see David, saying, bring him up to me in the bed, that I may slay him. And when the messengers were come in, behold, there was an image in the bed with a pillow of goat's hair for his bluster. And Saul said unto Michal, why hast thou deceived me so?
Now he telling his own daughter she deceived him for not her giving David to him. Wait a minute now, what's your daughter gonna do with your sin? So this ex-prophet that Ahayah called is bringing in everybody to help him sin against Ahayah laws and commandment. This is wickedness, commandment, but again, we recognize in this today. Keep reading, count.
And sent away my enemy, that he is escaped. And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, let me go, why should I kill thee? So David fled and escaped, and came to Samuel to Ramah, and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he said, Samuel went and dwelt in Nahoth. And it was told Saul, saying, behold, David is at Nahoth in Ramah. And Saul sent his message to David. And when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the spirit of Ahayah was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. Then went he also to Ramah, and came to a great well, that is in Sukkot. And he asked and said, wherein are Samuel, David? And one said, behold, they be at Nahoth in Ramah. And he went thither in Nahoth and Ramah, and the spirit of Ahayah was upon him also. He went on and prophesied until he came to Nahoth in Ramah. And he stripped off his clothes, also prophesied before Samuel in the like manner, and laid down naked all that day and all that night. Wherefore they say, is Saul among the prophets?
Now, the spirit of Ahayah was on Saul, so Saul was trying, but he couldn't do it. So he laid down all naked, trying to get it right, but he still had that wicked spirit in him, okay? Can we recap 1 Samuel 21, 21 and 1?
1 Samuel 21.
21 and 1, read it 10.
Shalom, sister. Shalom.
21 and 1. 1 Samuel 21 and 1.
1 Samuel 21 and 1. Then came David to Nob, to Amalek, the priest, and Amalek was afraid at the meeting of David and said unto him, Why art thou alone and no man with thee? And David said unto Amalek the priest, The king has commanded me a business, and has said unto me, Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thy hand, give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. And the priest answered David and said, There is no common bread under my hand, but there is hollowed bread. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. And David answered the priest and said unto him, Of truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days since I came out. And the vessels of the young men are holy, and the bread is in a manner common, ye, though it were sanctified this day in the vessel. So the priest gave him hollowed bread, for there was no bread there but the shew bread that was taken before Ahayah to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Now a certain man of the service of Saul was there that day, detained before Ahayah, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Amalek, And is there not here under thy hand spear or sword? For I have neither bought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. And the priest said, The sword of Goliath, the Philistines, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, There is none like that, give it me. And David arose and fled that day for the fear of Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath.
Hallelujah. Please say that 1 Samuel 22 and 9.
All right.
1 Samuel 22 and 9.
1 Samuel
22 and 9.
22 and 9. 1 Samuel 22 and 9. Then answered Doeg, the Edomite, which was set over the service of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, Amalek, the son All praise, hallelujah.
Got the key, just nice honey today. I don't know why things won't change.
Then answered 1 Samuel 22 verse 9. Then answered Doeg, the Edomite, which was set over the service of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Amalek, the son of Ahayah. And he inquired of Ahayah for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent to call Amalek the priest, the son of Ahayah, and all his father's house, the priests that were in Nob. They came all of them to the king. And Saul said, Hear now, thou son of Ahayah. And he answered him, I am Ahayah. And Saul said unto him, Why have ye conspired against me? Have ye conspired against me, thou and the son of Jesse, in that has given him bread and a sword, and has inquired of Ahayah for him, that he should arise against me to lie in wait as this day?
Now, Saul was mad at the priest. Now we realize now, how you gonna talk to David through the priest? He's not gonna talk to Saul no more. Saul want everybody on his side.
That's
He's trying
right.
to gain the whole world against King David to help him destroy David to do wicked, right? Again, we're gonna experience this in our so-called family that's close to us, and it's true. And it's walk of truth. We're gonna see a Saul walking right next to us. We're gonna see a Saul that hates us without a call. We're gonna see a Saul that's breaking the laws and everything, but he's telling you, brother, I'm keeping the commandments. Brother, I know Ahayah. Brother, I do everything Ahayah tell me to do. We're going to meet those brothers. So the reason why I'm bringing it out, because these brothers are in our face today. This ain't no mistake. This is a rehearsal showing us what to expect from these false prophets that Ahayah did call that he knocked down and he put another man upon him. Keep him captive.
First, it says, and Saul said unto him, why have you conspired against me, thou, the son of Jesse? In that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and hast inquired of Ahayah for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait, as this day. Then Amalek answered the king and said, and who is so faithful among all thy servants as David, which is the king's son in law, and goeth at thy bidding, and is honorable in thy house?
Now the priest is telling him, well, what did David do? David's honor. David doing everything. What is your problem with David?
That's right.
Why are you seeking him? Why are you trying to destroy him? Keep me in captive.
Then I began to inquire of Ahayah for him. Be it far from me, let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more. And the king said, thou shalt surely die, Amalek, thou and all thy father's house. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, turn and slay the priests of Ahayah, because their hand also is with David. And because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me, but the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of Ahayah.
Now, Saul wanted the servants, which is the priests also, to kill other priests, right? They're like, no, is you crazy going against commandments? I'm not going to slay the highest priests. These are the highest anointed people. But you're going to see D.O.C, which is the Edomite. He going to do it because they're wicked, just like Saul, that are that spirit of the Edomites in them. Keep on recount.
It says, and the king said to Doeg, turn thou and fall upon the priest of Doeg, the Edomite. Turn, and he fell upon the priest and slew on that day 85 persons that did wear linen epods, and Nob, the city of the priest, smote he with the edge of the sword both men and women, children and servants, and oxen and asses and sheep, with the edge of the sword. And one of the sons of Amalek, the son of Atab, and named Abathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abathar showed David the Saul had slain Ahayah's priest. And David said unto Abathar, I knew it that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, I have occasioned the death of all the persons of thy father's house. Abide thou with me, fear not, for he that seeketh my life seeketh thy life.
Hallelujah. He said that count 1 Samuel 24 and 3.
1 Samuel 24 and 3.
First Samuel 24 and 3.
1 Samuel 24 and 3. 1 Samuel 24 and 3. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, behold, the day of which Ahayah said unto thee, behold, I will deliver thy enemy into thy hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe.
What?
Cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privily. And it came to pass afterwards that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, Ahayah forbid that I should do this thing unto my master. Ahayah anointed to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is anointed of Ahayah. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, my Lord, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh thy hurt. Behold, this day thy eyes have seen how Ahayah has delivered thee today into my hand in the cave, and some bade me kill thee, but my eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is Ahayah's anointed.
Now, Ahayah is showing you how all this time Saul looking for David. Saul get the whole world go against David.
That's right.
But Ahayah blessed David to see Saul and cut off his skirt, right?
That's right.
On his robe, right? And David saw him, hey, I could have killed you. Ahayah delivered you to me. All the time you chasing me, but Ahayah told me do not touch his anointing, do his prophets no harm.
That's right.
So David said, I will not touch you, so it's not our fight. We want to let Ahayah deal with these wicked brothers and sisters that come against us in the truth, right?
That's right.
David said, Ahayah said again, it's not my anointing, do my prophets. So they still are prophets. They false prophets, but it's not our job to deal with them. It's Ahayah's job to deal with them. So we take this as a lesson. That's how David handled Saul. This is how we're going to handle our wicked brothers and sisters in the truth.
That's right.
Ahayah
Ahayah judge between me and thee. Go right here, moreover. Okay.
Yeah, moreover, 11.
Moreover, my father, see ye the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Now thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. Ahayah judge between me and thee, and Ahayah avenge me of thee, but my hand shall not be upon thee. And said the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceedeth from the wicked, but my hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom doest thou pursue? After a dead dog, after a flea.
Oh, you got TV?
Ahayah therefore be judge, and judge between me and thee, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thy hand. And it came to pass, when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, that Saul said, is this thy voice, my sons David? And Saul lifted up his voice and wept.
Hey, what?
Lifted up his voice and wept.
Now all this wicked he doing, he's saying the power of Ahayah on King David. Now he wept. How many times he gonna weep? How many times you gonna weep? You weeping for this?
That's right.
I'm sorry. I'm weeping, and you're sorry. You're sorry. How many times you gonna weep for your own wickedness, your own backstab, your own want to murder people, your own
That's right.
trying to destroy Ahayah's anointing? Read,
and he said to David, thou art more righteous than I.
Righteous who?
More righteous than I.
So I know that David was righteous to him, but why he keeps trying to destroy him? Keep me.
For thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. And thou hast showed this day how that thou dealt well with me, for as much as when Ahayah had delivered me into thy hand, thou killedest me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore Ahayah awarded thee good, for that thou hast done unto me this day. And now behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thy hand. Swear now therefore unto me by Ahayah, that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me, and that thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men got them up unto the hold.
Oh, no, you said that? 1 Samuel 25, 3.
Huh?
25 and
3. 25 and 3. 1 Samuel 25 and 3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife was Abigail.
Name of who?
Abigail.
Now this one he gonna bring out how if you don't appreciate your wife, you don't appreciate what Ahayah bless you with, how you would take it and give it to somebody that's gonna appreciate it, right?
That's right.
Pretty much up. 3 1 3.
It says, now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife was Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep, And David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, Get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, Peace be both to thee, and peace be to thy house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shears. Now the shepherds which were with us, we heard them not, neither was there out missing unto them all the while they were in Carmel. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore let thy young men find favor in thy eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thy hand unto thy servants and to thy sons David. And when David young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shears, and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So David young men turned their way and went again, and came and told him all those sayings. And David said unto his men, Gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 of bold by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail and Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master. And he railed on them. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything, as long as we were conversing with them when we were in the field. They were a wall unto us, both by night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on asses. And she said unto her servants, Go on before me, behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so, as she rode on the asses, that she came down by the convert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Now David had said, Surely in vain have I kept all this fellow hath in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him, and has requited me evil for good. So and more also do Ahayah unto the enemies of David. And if I leave all that pertaineth to him by the morning light, any that pisseth against the wall.
Now, Abigail was going to make peace with David because her husband Nabal, which it says wicked, didn't want to give David anything, but David supported his fellows. He supported them when they was out, right? Now, again, Abigail was like, wait a minute, I know my husband is wicked. Let me go out and stop this wrath from coming, because David and his fellows coming to destroy us, because David them did good to him, right?
That's right.
Again, the highest anointed, you got no power over highest anointed doing the law, statutes, commandments, right? But we're going to show you how you work, right? You do good and do the commandments, I ain't going to bless you. You do bad and evil, he going to deal with you. Keep me count.
On her face, it says, and when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the asses and fell before David. That's verse 23, family. 1 Samuel 25, verse 23. Verse 24. And fell at his feet and said, Upon me, my Ahayah, upon me, let this iniquity be, and let thy handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thy audience, and hear the words of thy handmaid. Let not my Ahayah, I pray thee, regard this man Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is Nabal is his name and folly is with him. But I, thy handmaid, saw not the young man out of my Lord, whom thou didst send. Now therefore, my Lord, as Ahayah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing Ahayah has withholden thee from coming to shed blood and from avenging thyself with thy own hand, now let thy enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal. And now this blessing which thy handmaid has brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespasses of thy handmaid, for Ahayah will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles of the Lord. And fight the battles of Ahayah. Excuse me.
Go down to 36. So we want to see how you work with this wicked husband and this righteous woman. We want to see what Ahayah going to do to Nabal. We got 36.
And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast. Held a feast in his house, like the feast of the king of Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken. Wherefore she told him nothing less or more until the morning light. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal and his wife, and told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as stone. And it came to pass about the 10 days after that Ahayah smote Nabal, that he died. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be Ahayah, that he has pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and has kept his servant from evil. From Ahayah has returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife.
Now we see how Ahayah worked. If you don't appreciate what he gave you, Nabal had a blessed woman, a beautiful woman, right?
That's right.
But he was wicked. So Ahayah dealt with him and gave her to King David.
Okay. And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, David sent us unto thee to take thee to him to wife. And she arose and bowed herself on her face to the earth, and said, Behold, let thy handmaid be a servant to wash thy feet of thy servants of my Lord. And Abigail hasted, and arose and rode upon an ass with 5 damsels of hers that went after her. And she went after the messengers of David, and became his wife. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives. But Saul had given him Michal his daughter, David's wife, to the Philistine, the son of Laish, which was of Galim.
26 and 12 count. 26 and 12. 26 and 12. Rebels, I know that too.
1 Samuel 26 and 12. So David took the spear of the curse of water from Saul's blossom, and they gat them away, and no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awake, for they were all asleep, because of deep sleep from Ahayah was fall upon them. Then David went over to the other side, and stood on the top of the hill afar off, a great space being between them. And David cried to the people and to Abner the son of Ner, saying, Answerest thou not, Abner? Then Abner answered and said, Who art thou that criest to the king? And David said to Abner, Art not thou a valiant man, and who is like to thee in Israel? Wherefore then hast thou not kept your Lord the king?
Now, this is showing that, again, Ahayah delivered Saul into King David's hands again. David did not touch him, because David said, Touch not, Lord, Ahayah anointed to his prophet in harm. Okay, chapter 28, 28 to 1.
Chapter 28, verse 1. Chapter 28, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days, the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Achish said unto David, Know thou surely that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said unto Achish, Surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Achish said to David, Therefore will I make thee the keeper of my head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had laminated him and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land, and the Philistines.
Now Saul knew the wizards, the one with familiar spirits, was going against the commandments, right?
That's right.
But now Saul put him out, right? At first when he was obedient to lost his commandment, but we see that Saul became wicked. And let's see what Saul gonna do next.
And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and they came to pitch in Shittim. And Saul gathered all the Israel together, and they pitched in Gelabor. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart was greatly trembling. And when Saul inquired of Ahayah, and Ahayah answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets.
Now, when you keep being disobedient to Ahayah, you're going to say, Ahayah told me, Ahayah told me. If you keep being disobedient to the Lord's commandment, he will not talk to you. He will not deal with you.
That's right.
He will turn his face. He will hide his face from you. Then a lot of prophets still going around here talking about, oh, Ahayah said, I'm a prophet. Yeah, you're a prophet.
Right.
But Ahayah ain't doing it.
Then said Saul unto his servant, seek me a woman that has a familiar spirit that
familiar
I may,
who?
Seek me a woman that that hath a familiar spirit that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servant said to him, behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment, and he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul has done, how hath cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land, wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die. And Saul swore to her by Ahayah, saying, as Ahayah liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel.
Now again, Ahayah was not talking to Saul no more. So Saul went and acquired a familiar spirit, wizard, and witchcraft, this and that, whatever. That's what a lot of our brothers and sisters do when they get out this truth. When Ahayah don't deal with you no more, and you recognize it and you know it, he has to bless somebody else.
That's right.
Now we go seeking dreams and visions of deceit, of wickedness, going to familiar spirits and all that. Keep reading, Captain.
Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up to thee? And she said, bring me up Saul. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, what form is he of? And he said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground, and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines made war against me. And Ahayah departed from me and answered.
So he knew Ahayah didn't talk to him no more. So
that's right.
To wizards.
That's right. And Ahayah departed from me and answered me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, wherefore then thou askest of me, seeing Ahayah is departed from thee, and is become thy enemy, and Ahayah has done to him as he has spake by me. For Ahayah has rent the kingdom out of thy hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David.
Oh, you gotta keep it.
Because thou obeyest not thy voice of Ahayah, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore hath Ahayah done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, Ahayah will deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. Ahayah also delivereth the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway along on the earth, and was so afraid because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night.
Now, we see Ahayah still talking about Amalek, his first mission when he went out and he disobeyed Ahayah's commandments, right?
That's right.
He said, by tomorrow, about this time, you and your sons gonna perish, right? You're gonna die, right? Now, again, that's what David said. I don't have to touch Ahayah anointed. Ahayah gonna deal with him. He gonna fall by his own hand, by his own wickedness. Everything he deceived, everything he was trying to do,
That's right.
He gonna fall by his own wickedness. So we don't have to touch these brothers that's cursing us, going against us, that hate us, trying to destroy us.
That's right.
How you gonna deal with them? Okay, can't piece up to that. 1 Samuel 31:13, 31.
1 Samuel what?
31.
1 Samuel 31.
31.
1 Samuel 31.
Now we're going to see all this get fulfilled.
1 Samuel 31.
1 Samuel 31 and 1.
1 Samuel 31 and 1. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down, slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan.
So who?
And Abinadab and Malchizu, Saul's sons, and the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his army bearer, draw thy sword, and thirst me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his army bearer would not, for he was so afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him.
Now Saul died in battle because Ahayah's all the evil that he did follows him. So realize we gotta be good to get our blessing.
That's
keep
right.
Sinning against Ahayah, we're gonna get dealt with. We don't have to touch our brother. We don't have to curse our brother. For prophecy gonna be fulfilled. If you do evil, evil gonna follow you.
That's right.
Hate your brothers, all that evil gonna come upon you.
That's right. And when his army bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. So Saul died. So Saul died, and his 3 sons and his army bearer and all his men that same day together, and with the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley, and they that were on the other side of Jordan saw that the men of Israel fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead. They forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on tomorrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa.
Hallelujah. Topic today was Ahayah lift up and Ahayah knock down.
That's right.
So realize Ahayah said it's best to be obedient than sacrifice. We don't need no sacrifice because what we need is lamb, goat, sheep for if we're gonna follow the commandments, right?
That's right.
So therefore, just be obedient to the word, okay? Again, he will lift up and he will tear down. We gotta follow these laws and commandments, get it right. Shalom family, hope you enjoyed this.
Shalom family.
Shabbat.
All praise, D.O.C. out.
Jeremiah 2:7. I brought thee into a plentiful country, to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when ye entered, ye defiled my land, and made mine heritage an abomination. Jeremiah 12:7. I have forsaken mine house, I have left mine heritage, I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemy. Curse in the city, curse in the field, curse when I go out, curse when I come in, the fruit of my body, to the fruit of my land. When they took my children, I didn't have no right in my hand. Disease is clean to me, it consumed me off of this earth. Oppressed, I'm left to spoil forevermore, my soul hurts. Madness, blindness, causes astonishment in my heart. My strangers get up high above me, I'm still stuck at the start because I plant the vineyard, but I don't get to eat the grapes because the fruit of my labor, another nation to get to take because I am a proverb and a byword to all nations. A coon jigaboo in the course, and you black nigger, they say. They put a yoke of iron around my neck and destroyed me. I'm hungry and I'm naked and I'm in need of everything. No man wanna pay my price, I don't see nobody defending me. Can't change down to a ship and I was sold to my enemies. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Jeremiah 17:4. Psalm 83, Isaiah 5:25. Seek ye out the book and read.
Read the Bible. Isaiah 1:3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel does not know. My people does not consider. Don't even consider that we the people of the Most High God.
I set the tone, name the place I ain't known. Name a country, and a household on earth that ain't never heard of me. Whole world hate me, but the whole world love me. They bite my style, then they call me ugly. They put on my clothes, try to walk just like me. They call me ignorant, then they try to go talk just like me. They don't want me around, but I bet you they know where to come when they need their blessings done. They know where to find that one. I made the sewer system, the shoemaker, the light bulb, the theater fell in love, and the whole sports arena got hyped up. The pain embodied me, and this dark cloud seemed to follow me. My feet don't ever find no rest, in this agony it just swallow me. Maybe 300-400 years, nowadays can't eat. Blueprint on how to build up a house is mine, but I often sleep in the streets. So wonderful but so low, my condition nobody could say. Then bang, I'm in my Bible, reading Deuteronomy 28. Who am I? Who am I?
You ain't gonna tell me, are you?
Ezekiel 39, Hosea 1:10, John 15:19, Leviticus 26, Leviticus 26.
You know what, world? Don't even worry about it.
Who am I?
Father already told us who we are. Not only did he tell us who we were,
Who am I?
told us who you are. Deuteronomy 28:47 through 48. Because thou servest not the Most High thy power with joy, and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which thy power shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. 1 Kings 9:7. Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them. In this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight. And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Deuteronomy 29:28. And thy power rooted them up out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 19. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter, and I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be no more remembered. May be no more remembered. May be no more remembered.